Okay.
Okay.
All right. So are you ready to go?
Do you want me to start now? Yeah, we're just about 5 past.
Yeah, hang on. Let me pin your video first. Yeah, yeah, it's good enough. If we're 1 minute ahead, that's amazing. We
Fine by
actually
me. Okay.
All right, so take it away.
Ready to roll. Thank you. Okay. Well, Rob, thank you very much. It really is a privilege to be here amongst an amazing list and array of speakers. Thank you very much. And a very happy birthday to EFLtalks. You can see that I have a cake here, but I haven't quite finished cooking it. I hope within the next 9.5 minutes, the cake will be finished and ready to go. But there's a big range a very wide range of people here. And I think it's quite something to stand up and talk. And you've got an amazing list of people who have done just that, as you say, voluntary 10 minutes and stuff. And I'm, great to be one of those as well. From the people I know are around, or maybe have been around or will be later, we've got some fairly seasoned presenters. Whether they are confident to stand up or to talk in front of a screen, I'm not sure, but they do it. They perhaps do it quite regularly. There are others who maybe just do the odd 1 or 2 conference talk. And then I'm sure there are some listeners who haven't really had the courage to put themselves out there. I have to say that Rob's EFLtalks site is a great place to have a go. I can't recommend it strongly enough. And maybe some of these people are thinking, well, maybe I could, and others thinking, oh, no way, I can't do this. Well, whatever kind of a speaker you are, I hope in the next 8 or 9 minutes that I can give you some strict tips and strategies, and maybe if you're more confident already, a few reminders, so that you don't only survive your talk, but actually you thrive and enjoy the experience as well. But let me just mention a couple of things. For example, apparently in the business world, if you're not willing to stand up and present your idea, your chances of promotion are going to drop by 15%. Now, in EFL, what is promotion? I think really it's about opportunities, about networking, about getting known. You may be a blogger or a podcaster instead, but some which way you need to get, I think, yourself out there. And as freelancers, I'm sure many of us are freelancers, I think that's especially important. It's also important to bear in mind when you're giving a talk that at the beginning, most people pay attention, but then it's quite tricky to keep their attention. So I've got a challenge on for the next 7.5 minutes to try to keep your attention. I've given lots of conference talks for years and years. I get nervous always. I'm not quite sure why, but I think it's because so many different things can go wrong. Originally, I started giving conference talks because for me, it was like having a ticket. Having a right to attend an event. It kind of improved, I think, my confidence in networking as well. And that had repercussions on the things that I've been able to do since. So it really does make a difference. Everybody gets nervous, everybody. And as I mentioned, all sorts of things can go wrong. Normally I learn from the experience, but recently when I was giving a talk, the video I played was sideways. And I remember everybody in the audience sort of turning their head 90 degrees to watch the video. It was quite tricky. I still don't know what went wrong there. But rest assured, the audience is always on your side. They want you to do a good job, and that's going to help. So let me show you the 5 things I want to talk about. I wonder if you can guess what these 5 things are. And if you can, maybe which one for you is the most challenging or the most difficult. Let's start with the first one. So the first one really is to make sure that you've got a good idea, but not just a good idea, an idea with an angle. So it could be one of these 2 talks. They don't seem very exciting, but if you give them an angle, a twist, then you're going to get to the key. You're going to make your talk actually a lot more interesting and appealing for people. Maybe next month's EFLtalks, a subtitle may be getting new speakers on board or ideas for Monday. Here's one. I wonder what your ideas are for how to give the angle for this one. It's a bit current in under lockdown where we have to work from home, but maybe how your family might benefit from you being at home, or maybe how you can stay in touch. Okay, I hope you can see we've got 1 candle on the cake. Let's try and put 2 on the cake. And this is really important. Talking of cakes and birthdays, This is the gift, the present that you're going to give to your listeners. And it's really important to make sure that you do have something for them. I call it the WIFI, which is the what's in it for you, which is what the speaker needs to think about. What is it that the audience are going to benefit from? Now, normally we're trying to change one of three things. Let's take this as a title. And we're trying to change how people receive that information. It could be that we're changing knowledge. We're simply giving them new information about activities or information about new activities. Perhaps, however, we're going even further. Maybe we're changing their attitude. So how they could actually tweak what they already do. Maybe thinking about just that. That's attitude. The third way, maybe if you can really go that far, is encouraging people actually to do something different, to try something new. And I think that's really quite an achievement. So that's my second candle on Rob's EFLtalks cake. The third one, as you can see at the bottom, is how to involve your audience. Now that's quite tricky when I'm only allowed to talk, but I'm trying to get you to think a little bit. In fact, I think I can hear and see some of these cogs moving inside your brains. So maybe that's working. But I wonder, these days we're working both online and maybe still a little bit offline. What are the things that we can do online to engage, to involve the audience? And I'm sure you've seen many of these in the last few weeks or months. For example, polling, or maybe a thumbs up, perhaps letting people write in the chat box, or even putting them into breakout rooms. And of course, if you're a Zoom expert, you'll be able to get participants to use the annotation features. It seems a long time since we were in the conference room or the conference hall, but there are lots of things we can do offline to make a speech or a talk or a presentation interactive. For example, you can get people to think about something, then turn to a partner and talk to their partner about the idea, and then share, perhaps in a bigger group. I've given you a picture of chocolate because I think chocolate always has to be shared. And this is known as think, pair, share. It's very simple, but it's very effective. And I think more importantly, actually, it gives the speaker, it gives me a chance just to take stock and think, okay, where am I and where am I going next? You can also ask your audience to jot down an idea on a piece of paper, maybe even a question they have at the beginning that perhaps is going to be answered during the talk. Or you might give them an interactive handout. That's something which is it's a name I've sort of made up, but it's a handout with some gaps on that they fill in as you talk. There are lots of other ideas as well, maybe a shout out or putting things in order, all sorts of things you can do. But that will take the pressure off you. It will also keep your audience more engaged. Our fourth candle is how to start. And I've got 2 slides for this because I think it's especially important. Now, there are lots of things you can do at the beginning, and I wonder if you can remember what I did. Let me show you some of the things that you can do at the beginning. See if you can decide which of these I did 7 or 8 minutes ago. So, hands up, who? Okay, well, I did a number of these. In fact, I did most of them. You might remember some of these. I didn't tell a joke because I don't tell jokes. I didn't show a meme because I was a bit short of time. And unfortunately, I can't use the chat box. But there are some things on the second slide I showed you. You might remember that I showed you a few other things to get your attention. There are 4 other things that you need to do at the beginning. And I don't know if you know what they stand for, these 4 things, but conveniently it's A, B, C, and D. A, you need to get your audience's attention, preferably not by screaming. You need to indicate what the benefit is for them so that they don't disappear, switch off, or go off and have a coffee. You also need to indicate what it is, why you're the right person to be talking about this. So perhaps a little bit about your experience. And then, of course, what direction you're going to take your audience in. It's very logical. It helps you. It helps them. That's our 4 candles. And the 5th candle, Rob. So how to finish. And for me, it's really important that this is written down. If you don't, you're in danger of saying, oh, I think I've come to the end, rather than being clearer. You might have a summary or a conclusion, or you might come full circle with the key point. this is my summary. These are the 5 things I've talked about. I wonder if you can remember what they were. And I'd like to hope, in conclusion, that with some of these ideas, you'll be a little bit less nervous and a little bit more confident. Thank you very much indeed. And Rob, a very happy birthday.
Rachel, that